Here we are again for another week. Hey guys, hope you're well. Get a few people on board and then we'll have a chat about the game. Sorry I'm a couple of minutes late. Still working through a bit of a moving house, so new setup, trying to get it all sorted and ready for the review and preview tonight and review tomorrow. Big game though. I don't know how many of you watched it, but it was good seeing Melbourne drop points after they were all positive and up and about after beating us last week and thinking they were going to finish above us on the ladder. But Sydney did us a solid, and now the ball is back in our court. It would have been nice to see GWS lose to Carlton. That would have helped us a lot as well, because GWS are thereabouts around that 8th to 6th position, and we play them in the last game of the year. But Brisbane also did us a favour last night. They got over Collingwood, and Collingwood are another team that I think they're just above us, 2 points above us on 34 points or 44 points, 34 points. So if we win tomorrow against the Hawks, we go up to 6th, I think. And that puts us, very close to securing our first finals berth in 9 years. It's been a long time coming, and it's funny, for the most of this week I was pretty negative about the boys on the weekend and the Melbourne game, and now we've effed up our chances again. But then Sydney come along, and Brisbane do a number on Collingwood, and even Carlton get close to pulling off a big win against GWS. And it's weird. You think that just few little things are going our way, and I think that you look at the ins, the and outs for Hawthorn. They've made 7 changes, so that's the most they've made all season. They've lost Ben McAvoy. They've lost Stratton, Burgoyne, Minchington. I mean, there's probably a few others there that I've missed there. And brought in, Shields amongst a lot of inexperience. And we've lost Tim Membry, which sucks. And that's a big loss for us. But I think out of all games, if he has the week off, he's had his finger surgery, he has the week off, he comes back against West Coast, which is massive, and then, finish the season strong against GWS. That's even better for us. So, it's a big loss that he's out, and I know a lot of people commented and said, shit, they're going to be poor without him, but I disagree. I think that, John O'Marsh has come in, and I think he's going to do a good job. He's a big body, he can take a mark, he's good for a goal. And then you've got Jack Loney. I think that's a massive win for us. We've missed his forward pressure for a couple of weeks. Butler's had to do it on his own, and Hind hasn't been providing that. Kent is good for other reasons. Sometimes he's good with his forward pressure, sometimes he's not, but he does get a lot of the ball, and he's good for a goal. So in the last couple of weeks with Nick Hind, in the podcast, we called him out, and I called him out even in the review last week after the Melbourne loss. So I'm not surprised that he's been dropped, but he's an X-factor player. So if Kent doesn't perform this week, or even Loney or Butler, it doesn't matter. If any of the smalls have a shitty game, there's no doubt that, there's Nick Hind in the wings that can come in, do a job, and maintain a spot in the forward line. So it's good. We've still got competition for spots, which is great. This late in the season, the last 3 games of the season, we still have players that need to fight for their spots. No one can get complacent. And we saw what happened against Melbourne last week. We got complacent. We just bombed it into the forward line. Nothing worked, and we lost the game. So even though Hawthorn are near the bottom of the ladder, they just lost to the worst team in the competition last week, pretty comprehensively, by the way. You don't want to take them lightly, even with these changes. We've lost Membry and Hind, but we've gained a few, and we're playing one of the worst teams this year. But it's Hawthorn, it's Alistair Clarkson. He loves just shitting on other teams and fucking up their years, no matter where they are on the ladder. He's a good coach. They're a well-drilled team. They have their game plan, and if we don't play smart, we're just going to invite pressure on ourselves again. You look at the game last week against Melbourne. We bombed it. They win the game. I watched the game against Sydney and that Melbourne played the other day on Thursday night. And Sydney lowered the eyes. Sydney played smart and they completely dominated Melbourne because of that. They took May out of the game. They took their tools out of the game. They played smart. They got the job done. We lost last week because we didn't play smart. We didn't lower the eyes. We didn't connect. We didn't run. We didn't play Saints footy that we know under Ratton. This week, we need to go back to that, especially because we're playing West Coast and we're playing GWS, two very good teams in the last 2 weeks. We need to find form against Hawthorn, get some momentum, get some percentage, secure that top 6 spot, and go into those games knowing we can bring it every week. And this is going to give us a big chance of playing finals and also getting some form before finals. That's the best part, is we can get a run on before finals. That's a big advantage going into the first final. No matter who you face, if you're in good form in that leading up to that first final, that's a big bonus. If you're in average form and you've had a few bad losses, it's a bit harder to get up and about, but hopefully the boys are ready for it. I feel like they learn their lessons every loss, and we've lost a couple in a row for the first time this year, and I'm backing them to bounce back pretty hard. It's a 1:00 start, 1:05 start. We're back at Metricon, and we're playing Hawthorn, who can be a good team. They've had a few weird games this year where they've been good, and then they've had games where they've just been absolutely dominated by better teams. And I'm hoping tomorrow's a game where they're dominated by a better team, because we are the better team. We need to show it. We don't show it enough. We need to really put the foot on the throat and get the job done. The last time we did that was against Sydney, and that was really the last quarter. You think about it, that was the last quarter where we got the job done. It wasn't a domination from start to finish. Essendon, we got the job done in the first half and then died off, and that was comfortable. But tomorrow I want it to be a comprehensive win. I want us to win each quarter by 2 or 3 goals. It needs to be a 40-point win. We need to get percentage, because if we drop 2 games in the next 2 weeks against West Coast and GWS, it's going to be very important that if we're going to be struggling on points, and that's going to be a risk. We need to make sure the percentage is enough, at least more than the teams below us that are going to get some wins, because Collingwood are going to get some wins. Melbourne have got some wins coming up, although, you don't know with Melbourne. They might stuff up every week and finish lower than we think, but it's a critical game. We just need to get the job done. I could go into more detail about the midfield. Obviously, Tom Mitchell's the one. Chad Wingard always kills us. When he was at Port taking the specky on Sean Dempster in 2016 or whenever it was, he always bobs up. They've obviously got, very good players. Forward, they've got Bruce, they've got Gunston, they've got the workman-like sort of guys that just do it every week. But they've also got a lot of inexperience, and that's one thing that, the more experienced teams have thrived on. They go for the players that have had less than 50 games. I think last week they had about 6 players with less than 10 games, Hawthorn. So those are the sort of players that you want to focus on. When they get the ball, put them under pressure, turn the ball over, and get it the other way. Max King hasn't had a rest all season. I think it's great to see that Ratton says that he's training every week and he doesn't show a sign of fatigue. So if he's playing against an inexperienced defence, they've lost Stratton, they've lost their captain. This is where we can really go into a game and just smash them, just go for them. This is a game where, I can't stress it enough, where we just need to get the job done and focus on West Coast and GWS in the coming weeks. It needs to be a comfortable win. I'd go through comments again, but for some reason, Facebook has really screwed me. I just can't seem to find comments. Just give me a sec. I don't know why that's happening. It's a bit unfortunate. But yeah, if there are comments, I'm sure there are a lot of comments. I can't see them for some reason. This app is shit. I need to download a new app and do this. But just to go through the ins and outs again, guys, just before we close, in Jono Marsh, Jack Loney, I'm very happy with that. Marsh, I don't know if he's going to be a player that we're going to rely on when we get to finals, if we get to finals, but he's a very good stopgap for a missing tall. I think Battle probably could play more forward in this game with no Membry, so it could be a mix of Battle, Marshall, Marsh, and King. There's also, Ryder that could rest there. But I'd love to see Rowan Marshall play a bit more forward. He looked very capable last week. He was basically the only tall that looked like getting on the lead or marking the ball in a contested situation. So if we can get Ryder to do the bulk of the ruck, and then just get Marshall to play forward, 50%, 60% of the game, I think that he could kick a bag. I think Rowan Marshall's capable of doing that against an inexperienced defence. And Ryder, with no McAvoy there, I think we're pretty comfortable in the ruck stocks. I don't know if they're going to play Segler or someone like that in the ruck, but, that's their problem. I think we, on all bases, should be pretty comfortable in defence, in the midfield, and in attack. They've got Tom Mitchell, and he's an excellent player, but he gets a lot of the ball, but it's always been my critique of him is that he doesn't hurt you. 20 disposals for Dusty is more potent than a 45 possession game from someone like Tom Mitchell. There are a lot of handballs and just clearances. So if we can stop the clearance work of Tom Mitchell getting into their forward line fast, then we'll be fine. Because last week our issue wasn't so much clearances. I think we won the clearances last week. It wasn't really defense. It was the way we went forward. So if we can lower the eyes, pinpoint some passes, and don't bomb it over the heads to the advantage of the Hawthorn defenders, no matter how inexperienced or experienced they are, if we bomb it like we did last week, it's going to be a tough day for our forwards. And we want to make it an easy one for them. We want Butler to get back into some form. He's slowed down the last 3 or 4 weeks. We want King to get back into some form and to see Loney kick a few, because he always plays well against the Hawks. He kicked 4 against them, I think, last year or the year before, and he kicked the match winner last year against them. So it's a big one, Sainers. I'm sorry that I can't see your damn comments. Blame Facebook for that. I'll answer them after this in the comments. I'll actually type and go through all the comments and respond. Also, special note, it is Jaron Geary's 200th. And I know that over the course of the years, him being captain or just a Saints player in general, he's had his haters and people that kind of just don't agree with him playing, him being captain. But, it's his 200th and, geez, he's put his body on the line countless times. And I think the players voted him in as captain at the start of the year and every year the last 3 or 4 years. And I think he's a great captain. I think it might be his last year as captain, but nonetheless, 200 games. So congratulations, Geary. Hopefully we get a win for you, mate, and we secure a finals berth for you, because it's been a long time since Gears has played finals. I don't know if he was around in 2011, 2010 when we played finals. I think he might have been. I don't know how many games he got. But he's been around for a lot of the shit times, not so much the good times. So it'd be great if this was his last year playing or as captain to get him into the finals and go full throttle there for Gears and for all the long-serving Saints supporters like myself and you guys watching that have had some tough years. It'd be great to see finals in a few weeks. But until then, tomorrow, 1:05 p.m, Metricon Stadium against Hawthorn. You'll see me after the game, obviously live for a review, hopefully, to talk about a big win. I hope you're all going well. I hope you're all healthy and staying safe in these times. It's good to see the numbers in Victoria dropping. So hopefully sooner rather than later, the pubs and stuff can open and, some small gatherings can take place and Saints fans can get together and talk about footy and watch the games perhaps together. But on that note, actually, I'll quickly just flag that thanks, by the way, for all of the people that commented for the Saints TV merch that was posted during the week. Hopefully the plan is for the website for the Saints TV store to be done next week, mid-next week. So hopefully if you're interested in a t-shirt, I'm wearing the, if you can see the Gresh Prince one right now, it fits really well, nice and comfy. And yeah, if you're interested, the store should be live next week and hopefully, the pricing shouldn't be too bad. And yeah. That's it, guys. So there's a lot happening for Saints TV. There's a lot happening for the footy club. And we broke our record membership. Jack Steele, by the way, I can't believe I nearly forgot about that. Signing for 2 more years is excellent news. A lot of people saying, why wasn't it more? I think that it's because we don't know how reduced the salary cap is going to get next season, or at least we might do. We might actually know, but the point is that we don't want to go too crazy with his salary and his pay for an extended period before we know how much money we have to work with for the next few years. And the word is we've got a few big, fish that we want to get to the St Kilda Football Club in the off season. Can't say too much more, but obviously we're always looking for some players, and there's a few players, namely Josh Kelly and Zach Williams from GWS, that we might want to get in. and we're going to keep some money on the side for those sort of players before we can go crazy with offering big contracts for big players that are currently at the club. But no doubt after the 2 years, I can see there'll be a further extension and his salary will go up even more. So I think it's just a bit of a temporary extension before he can get the real reward. And he, in 2 years' time, who knows, we'll be battling top four and hopefully going for some premierships. But until then, guys, thanks again for watching. Sorry I can't see your comments. I don't know what's going on with the app. I'll comment when I can. And in the meantime, Saints TV podcast is out. This will be up on YouTube if you want to rewatch it or catch up on anything Saints TV. And I'll catch you tomorrow for the review after the Hawthorn game around 4:30. So I'll see you guys then. In the meantime, take care and go you Saints.